Okay, today I'm very excited to share this recipe with you. It is one of my absolute favorites. It is a blog fan favorite. It is the Peruvian-Inspired Whole Roasted Chicken with Tangy Green Sauce. So I'm gonna teach you how to spatchcock and roast a chicken today. We'll get to what that means in a second if you don't know. And we're also gonna make the most delicious tangy green sauce to serve with this chicken. It's the perfect family weeknight dinner. My family is obsessed with this one, and I know yours will be too. So let's get to cooking. All right, so let's talk about the spatchcock. Katie's shaking her head. Spatchcocking, funny word, but it is a method to remove the backbone of your chicken. It's gonna butterfly the chicken out, and that way your chicken is going to cook more evenly. It's gonna help cook it more quickly. And I love it because when it's butterflied out, you get that crispy skin all across the top. So it is the best way to cook a chicken. I think it makes it more foolproof, but it is a little weird and a little bit daunting. The only thing that you really need to make this easier is a good pair of kitchen shears or poultry shears. You can find these on Amazon. It's a great thing to have around. And I will say every time I do this on Instagram, people are like, I can't stand the bones cracking. But we're gonna put our big girl and big boy pants on today, and we are going to do this because I promise you it's a great technique for roasting chicken that you're gonna love doing once you just get over the weirdness of it. So let's get to spatchcocking. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna flip your chicken over. This is the breast. You want the breast on the bottom. So you can see here, this is the backbone of the chicken. I'm gonna be cutting out the backbone of the chicken so that way we can flip it over and then the chicken's gonna be butterflied, okay? You're just gonna take your poultry shears and you're gonna cut down the first side and just kind of cut through that backbone. See, it's not difficult, it's just a little bit creepy. Then we're gonna do the other side. Now technically you could just flip it over and keep that backbone on. I like to do this if I know I'm making bone broth because then I can take that roasted backbone and use it in making stock or broth, but we're not gonna do that today. We're gonna remove the whole thing. Then you're just gonna flip back over the chicken without the backbone, and you can see here it's butterflied, but to just make sure that it's nice and flat, you're gonna take the palm of your hand and press down on the chicken to keep it all even and flat. So you can see here we have a spatchcocked chicken. I'm also taking the wings so they don't burn and just kind of tucking them under like so. And now she is ready to roast. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. So now that we've gotten through the gruesome part of this recipe, let's get to the fun part. Let's flavor up this chicken. Let's get it in the oven, and then we're gonna make our sauce while it's in the oven. I already have my spice mixture right here, which I have some oregano, cumin, paprika, garlic powder, salt, and pepper, and some avocado oil. And that's all nice and combined. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the backside of our chicken and just drizzle, I don't know, about a tablespoon of that. And then you're gonna want to brush that so that it's evenly coated on the bottom. And then we're going to flip her over, pat her dry. This just really helps when you pat dry your chicken, just make sure that it's gonna get nice and crisp on the top and get as much moisture out as you possibly can. So now we're gonna take the remaining mixture and we are going to lather it on the top of our chicken. And make sure it's nice and even. We're just gonna lather her up right now. All right, I promise you guys, you're gonna never turn back once you spatchcock your first chicken and roast it and have it for dinner. It's just makes it so perfect. All right, this is gonna go in the oven at 450 for, I don't remember how long, 35 to 45 minutes. So it just depends on how big your babe is. Mine, I think, was like 3.5 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. So it's probably gonna be more in like the 35 to 40 minute track. Without further ado, let's put the chicken into the oven. So while our chicken is roasting, we're gonna make the real star of the show, although the spatchcock chicken is pretty famous. We're gonna make the tangy green sauce. This is one of my favorite condiments of all time. It's a little bit spicy. It's got that cilantro flair to it, and then it's got that super tanginess from vinegar and lime. So we're gonna start off by making, this is something that people freak out about. Most of my recipes, if you have my books, kind of start off with this homemade mayo emulsification, which is really just 1 cup of oil. You're gonna want a neutral in flavor oil. I'm using avocado, 1 egg, just crack it right down to the bottom. It doesn't have to be room temp or anything. Whoop. We are gonna take the Immersion blender. If you don't have one of these, highly recommend investing one. It's definitely one of my favorite kitchen gadgets ever for blending soups, making sauces, and just making your life a lot easier because all you have to do is wash this thing. So I'm gonna take the blade right here and put it directly over the yolk. And you're gonna count to 10 Mississippi. I know it sounds ridiculous, but then that will ensure that your mayo emulsifies. So hold it directly over the yolk, turn it on. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. You can see right here it's already emulsifying. 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi. You wanna see that white creaminess going, and then you're gonna slowly raise up the Immersion blender. Just kinda go up and down, nice and slow, until the whole thing has emulsified. Store-bought mayo has a taste to it. It's got like a little bit of a funk, which is great on a sandwich, but like not in this sauce. So make the mayo. Okay, so we've got the 1 cup of homemade mayo, not store-bought. And now we're gonna add our delicious flavors to make this tangy green sauce. So I'm gonna do 2 cloves of garlic. And again, we're gonna be blending this again with that Immersion blender. We've got 1 jalapeno that you're gonna wanna obviously take the stem off, and we're gonna take out the seeds as well. Just make sure our sauce isn't too spicy and it really focuses on that tang and nice flavor. And then just give your jalapeno a rough chop. Doesn't need to be perfect. Again, this is gonna all get blended. All right, next up we have distilled white vinegar. You're gonna do a whole tablespoon of it. And then 2 tablespoons of lime juice, which is usually the juice of 1 lime. And that's gonna be our tangy element. Got 1, 2. Next up, some cilantro. You're gonna do 1/2 cup, loosely packed, roughly chopped. And you could use the tender stems in this too. It doesn't have to just be the leaves since it's all getting blended up. I'd say that's about 1/2 cup. Right there. We need some salt and pepper, 1 teaspoon kosher salt, and then some freshly cracked pepper, about 1/2 teaspoon. And we're gonna just blend this up till it's nice and smooth. All right, so there's our sauce. And I promise y'all this sauce is so good. It makes a lot, but you're gonna want a lot because it's gonna become your new favorite condiment. It's great. Dip your carrots and celery in it. Just like scoot the ranch over. It's great as a salad dressing, but it's particularly great with roasted chicken. All right, so I'm gonna take my thermometer just to make sure my chicken's done. Okay, so you want it at 155, 160 to make sure it's fully cooked. We're gonna let it rest for just a little bit to let those juices settle, and then we can carve the chicken. We've got our chicken. We're gonna quarter it. Just gonna transfer this, oh gosh, to a cutting board. And to quarter it, you're just gonna kinda take off the thighs. All right, put the wing there. This is so juicy. All right, so we have our tangy green sauce. I'm gonna pour this on the platter in a little serving bowl. And then if you're serving this to your family, a good way to garnish is with some fresh cilantro leaves. And then I am serving mine with just a simple side salad. Whatever your house salad is great, but just like a really simple iceberg lettuce salad. I've got tomatoes, cucumbers, avocado in there. This recipe is also on the blog. So today, to recap, we've learned a lot. We've learned how to spatchcock a chicken. We have learned how to make a homemade mayo emulsification into a beautiful tangy green sauce. And we learned how to make a new fantastic recipe. So I'm gonna go eat this because I'm starving and this is what's for lunch today. Trying to do this elegantly. Never my forte. Dip. So tangy, so delicious. The chicken, perfectly seasoned. And it's just such a great roast chicken recipe. So y'all have to try this at home. Happy spatchcocking. Surely the French and Italian don't say let's spatchcock it. They've got to have a more beautiful word. It's delicious, okay? You should make it.